All right, welcome to this video on solving systems of linear equations. Today we're going to talk about a new method of solving systems. We have already talked about graphing. Graph two lines, find the intersection point. That's your solution. We've talked about substitution. Substitution is where you have a variable equal to an expression. You have a variable that's solved, y equals or x equals. And then you take that and you plug it into the other equation to go from two variables to one and to solve. Today, we are going to talk about elimination. And elimination is a method that involves eliminating a variable by combining. That's the big word. We are going to combine the individual equations within a system. Today, we're going to do it via addition or subtraction. Well, really, that's how we're always going to do it. But tomorrow, in the next lesson, we're going to have to do a little step before we just add or subtract. So if we look at this equation here, let's go down to this first one, and we kind of investigate what's happening here. I have 7x and 7x. So if I think about eliminating the x, if I wanted to make a 0, I'm turning this into 0. What I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract these equations. And it feels weird algebraically that we can actually do this. But we can. If you were to divide the equation by the equal sign, if you subtract this expression, and then you divide it and you subtract this expression, these expressions, mathematically you haven't broken any rules of algebra. So if I'm going to subtract 7x minus 7x, 0 goes away. 4y minus 2y is 2y, and then 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Boom, I've eliminated a variable. So easy, so quick, so simple. Now I just need to solve for y. Again, I'm going to divide both sides by 2, and we get y equals negative 3. The next step here is to find the x. A solution to a system of linear equations is an ordered pair. It is a location on a graph. Pick either equation, plug it in for y. I'll pick the bottom one. Doesn't matter. 7x plus 2y. We know that y is now negative 3 equals 8. So 7x minus 6 equals 8. This is the time of the year where I'm not going to write every step. I am going to add 6 to both sides to get 14 and divide by 2. So our solution is 2 comma negative 3. Remember, if you ever need to catch up to me on these videos, I know I talk fast. There's a pause button. Just hit the pause button. Give yourself a second to catch up. But again, let's talk about what we did. We subtracted the equations. The x eliminated. That's why it's called elimination. We solved for y. We took y. We substituted back into either equation. And we found x. All right. It's almost the identical system. If you would like, you can pause the video and do it yourself. And wait and then watch me solve it to see how well you did. Okay, so we're going to subtract these equations. The reason why we're going to subtract these equations is these x's are the same. 3x minus 3x will be 0. We're trying to make a 0. Now, pay attention to your negatives. 4y minus 6y is not 2y. It is negative 2y. This is where you will make your mistakes if you're not paying attention to the detail. 19 minus 33 is negative 14. We divide both sides by negative 2 and get 7. So that's 1/2 of my solution. Plug it into either equation. I'll plug it into the top one. So y is now 7. I'm rewriting the top equation identically as it was, but I'm now substituting in 7 for y. So 3x plus 28 equals 19. Subtract 28 from both sides. 3x equals negative 9. Divide by 3. X equals negative 3. Solution, negative 3, 7. All right. That is when we combine by addition. We can also combine by subtraction. or sorry, I said that backwards. That's where we combine by subtraction. We're going to now talk about combining by addition. All right, here, if we look at these two equations, I want you to think, what's going to eliminate if I add? Well, I have negative y and positive y. So negative y plus positive y is 0. So it's eliminated. Now we just have to add everything else. 5x plus negative x is 4x. Negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. Divide both sides by 4, and x is 1. Negative 1. Again, pay attention to your details. So now as I go to solve this, I'm going to plug negative 1 in for either of my variables. Doesn't matter. Negative 1, or opposite of negative 1, plus y equals 2. So 1 plus y equals 2. Subtract 1 from both sides, y equals 1. So my ordered pair solution, negative 1, 1. Remember, you're doing a question like this. You're unsure when you're done. You can go to Desmos and see if you did it right. It's a great idea. All right. Next one. Again, we're going to add. And if we add, the y variable will eliminate. Now, not always does the y variable eliminate. I'm not entirely sure why I ask you to do these with just the y value eliminating here today. But also look for the x. Oh, I guess here in the top, the x eliminated, and in the bottom, the y is eliminating. It can kind of go either way. All right, so 3x plus 4x is 7x. 4y plus negative 4y is 0. And 2 plus 12 is 14. Divide both sides by 7. X is 2. So simple to get the y. We substitute x. So I'm going to go into the top equation. 3 times 2 plus 4y equals 2. So 6 plus 4y equals 2. Subtract the 6. 4y is negative 4. Y equals negative 1. So the solution is 2 comma negative 1. All right, let's do a quick word problem. This word problem is going to be so quick and simple with elimination. All right, twice a number. I'm going to make that number x. And another number, I'm going to make that y, is 15. The sum of the two numbers, x and y, is 11. So the sum of a number added to another number is 15. The sum of two numbers is 11. Watch how quick this is. Let's use elimination. Should we add or should we subtract? That's what you should be thinking to yourself when you see it looking like this. Boom. Let's make these y's into a 0 by subtracting. 2x minus x is x. Y minus y is 0. 15 minus 11 is 4. X is 4. Now I said the sum of two numbers is 11. So if x is 4, what is y? 7. 4 plus 7 is 11. So my numbers are 4 and 7. It's not technically an ordered pair because we're not technically talking about a graph. But if you gave this answer as an ordered pair, I certainly wouldn't mark it wrong. All right. Example, moving on to the back. Again, if I move too fast, hit pause. Let yourself catch up. You can rewind. All right. Let's look at these systems and look at which is the best method. Okay. Let's look at the first one. What do you notice? I notice they both equal y. So I see two methods. I see graphing, if you have access to a graph, and if you think it's going to end in a whole number, or substitution. Okay, substitution would probably be your easiest bet here. All right, looking at the next one. Nice and simple. Okay, I'm seeing 7y and 7y. So to get that to eliminate, I am going to subtract. So my best method is going to be elimination. and subtraction by subtracting. Okay, so elimination is the method. Subtraction is what we're actually going to do. All right, for this next one, I notice 6y and negative 6y. So if I add, that will make this a 0. So my best method would be elimination via addition. Okay, now we're to essential practice. So essential practice is your practice. So what I would like you to do is hit pause, solve both systems, come back and watch me solve them to see if you did that right. Okay, be a good student, do it, try it, and then come back. All right, so what method should we use here? Well, we just talked about it up here. Okay, happens to be up there. We are going to subtract, because that'll make that into a 0. So 5x, or 7x minus 2x is 5x. 21 minus 16 is 5. Divide by 5, x is 1. Doesn't matter which one you want to plug it into. Let's go ahead and try to find out what y is. So 7 times 1 plus 7y equals 21. So 7 plus 7y is 21. Subtract 7. 7y is 14. Divide by 7. Y is 7. All right, my solution is 1, 7. All right, let's look at this next one. The goal here is to eliminate a variable. Looks like y is going to be the easiest to eliminate. If we add, those y's will turn into a 0. So x and 3x is 4x. Negative 10 plus negative 6 is negative 16. So x equals negative 4 when I divide by 4. So I'm going to plug it into the top equation. Be careful of your negatives. Here I'm going to add 4 to both sides. 6y is negative 6. Divide by 6 and y is negative 1. Solution, negative 4, negative 1. Okay, nice job following along. If you need to rewind, you can. I will also post this YouTube into Schoology.